Welcome back to Brush Country Monsters. In this episode, we conclude our hunt on the South Island of New Zealand with Mark and Pam Waite of River South Safaris. It has been an epic hunt, and this Texan is now hooked on New Zealand. Stay tuned for more Brush Country Monsters.
Big red stags, that is what New Zealand is renowned for. And we were in perfect, capable hands. Mark and Pam of River South Safaris, one of their specialties is giant red stags. This part of New Zealand, the South Island, is known for growing some of the biggest animals in the world, and Mark and Pam have them.
This is.
Ready?
265, shoot.
McWhorter Custom Rifles presents Brush Country Monsters.
Mark and Pam Waite, they own River South Safaris located on the South Island of New Zealand, just outside of a little town named Fairley and in an area called Sherwin Downs of the Mackenzie District. Now, this specific area of New Zealand is incredibly beautiful. And when I say postcard views, I am not lying. I kept telling Lamar, this is one of the most beautiful places in the world I have ever been, and I know he will agree with me.
River South Safaris specialize in red stag, tar, chamois, Arapar ram, and fallow deer. Just about anything that the South Island has, Mark's got it on his place, and he knows where they are.
Skyline, he's looking back to the right. It doesn't matter whether you're a novice or an experienced hunter, here at River South Safaris, we cater for everybody and guarantee you the trip of a lifetime. Great trophies, stunning scenery, exclusive properties, and some of the best facilities that the hunting industry has to offer.
Here at River South Safaris, we have 4 units for accommodation. They have Super King beds, and if we have 8 hunters that want to come together in a group, we can split the beds and have 2 to a room.
The South Island of New Zealand is known to be a hunter's paradise. But after watching Lamar take a big old tar, a big old stag, and an equally big chamois, my trigger finger was starting to itch a little bit. Another beautiful morning here on the South Island of New Zealand with River South Safaris. Day 4, we decided that I was going to be on deck. We were going to look all day and try to find a stag for me. So we started and took out, and we spent a good part of the morning glassing a lot of ground trying to find the right animal. We saw several stags, we saw some smaller ones, we saw some a long way off that we couldn't get to, and we just spent a lot of time behind the glass trying to find the right animal. Lamar's had some great hunts. Finally, I get to get behind the gun. We're looking for a special stag. As we're approaching lunchtime, we go to a big area that has some rocks, and we decide to stage up there and have our lunch and just sit back and glass. As we're sitting back and just, enjoying the views and having a little bit of lunch, Mark's on the spotting scope looking way far off on the other side of Mount Walker, and sure enough, he spots a giant red stag.
See the green tree? Go right down along them trees, you'll see a stag.
Now, this animal is about 2 miles off, and this stag is not going anywhere. He's just sitting there enjoying the late morning sun, and We really weren't kind of in a rush either because we were trying to figure out how we were going to approach this animal. Where he was located, we were not going to be able to get anywhere close to him without bumping him.
Right, see how you got the big gully on this side? Curve the next gully over, right, and just out on the left.
Direct line of sight, there was probably 8 or 10 different gullies that we would have to climb in and out of, and over a hill and into another gully and into another one. There was just no way we could go directly line of sight towards that animal.
Brush Country Monsters is brought to you by McWhorter Custom Rifles, the most accurate hunting rifles in the world. Yeti Coolers, built for the wild. Safari Club International Foundation, first for wildlife. Hoff Power Auto and Outdoor Stores, over 50 years in Central Texas, and we couldn't have stuck around this long if we were steering you wrong. Chupacabra Rub, shake it, rub it, love it. And Surge Pro, the best yield-enhancing foliar fertilizer on the market. Brush Country Monsters is brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, real Texas barbecue. Swarovski Optique, see the unseen. Burger Bullets, shoot better, shoot Burger. Hart Rifle Barrels, unparalleled performance, handcrafted one at a time. And John Burrell's High Adventure Company, the finest collection of big game wing shooting and sport fishing destinations in the world.
Direct line of sight, there was probably 8 or 10 different gullies that we would have to climb in and out of, and over a hill and into another gully and into another one. There was just no way we could go directly line of sight towards that animal.
Come up that ridge line.
One ridge line over.
And come up. We make 300 yards on him. He's going to be 250, 300.
He wound up turning and going directly away from us and went down into a gully. At that point, Mark said, let's get all our gear up. I got a plan. This is all we can do. We're going to get the Polaris as close as we can. We're going to get out and walk and try to intercept him going up that gully. The plan somewhat worked. We got down to the pines. We parked our Polaris. We got all our gear all packed up in preparation for a big hike up the side of that mountain. And just about the time we cleared the pines, Mark looked to his right, and down at the bottom of that gully, which was, we're talking 600 or 700 yards down, there's this giant red stag just standing there looking at us. We were caught in the open. He saw us about the same time we saw him. We threw up the binoculars. Mark said, big shooter, get on the gun now.
Got him, Russell? When he stops, Seth. 230. This is.
Ready?
265, shoot.
I hit him right in the front of the neck. That's a shot that can be lethal, but it also, the animal could go for a long, long ways. I was able to squeeze one more round and got it into him, slipped it in. I knew that one was going to be back, but now he had 2 bullets in him.
Beautiful
He was wounded. He went up and over and into a gully. We did not see him come back out the other side, so I felt like he was either dead right there or he's going to be laid up. I just now had to get up there and see if I could put one more in him. So where we had shot this animal was just like everything else here in New Zealand. It was straight up, and lots of huffing and puffing and trying to get there as quickly as we could. We got there, I knew about where I had shot, and I started looking around, and immediately we found blood, which was a great sign. We knew we'd hit him, and now we have this great blood trail to follow. So we start making our way, and we're following this blood trail nice and slow. We're walking around the edge. We get to the point where he's about to crest the top, and Mark says to me, you need to get your gun ready, dial that scope down as low as you can. If he could either be dead or he could be laid up just on this other side. And sure enough, we crested the top, we're easing around, Mark's just in front of me, I'm right behind him, And I guess about that time the stag heard us because he was just below us, right at the, I mean like 10 or 15 feet right below us, laid up in this little gully. He jumps up and he comes climbing up the other side. Mark bails out to his left. I bring the gun over from the top. About that time, I get the crosshair settled right on his chest. Russell, the cameraman, he had the perfect view, and just so happened he had the camera rolling and he caught all of it on camera. As I bring the gun over, settled it right on the shoulders, squeezed the trigger, and he dropped.
Whoa! Hey! There he is. What an awesome stag.
Oh, what a giant.
What an awesome stag.
Oh, what a giant.
Yes. Awesome. Well done, man.
Mark. Oh, can I just pass out for a second? My big old red stag was on the ground, and it all unfolded in this really awesome, incredible, action-packed, adrenaline rush of a way. So in all this excitement and commotion, it dawned on me, I really didn't look at his horns as much as I thought I should. I was just trusting my guide. When he says this is a big animal and you need to shoot him, I was not going to argue. When I got up there and put my hands on this animal, guys, I had no idea. This thing just had some incredible mass. I mean, I could not put my hands around the horns, and it carried all the way out. Just an incredibly beautiful red stag, dark stain from all the timber. You know, when I think of a giant red stag from New Zealand, I could not have painted a prettier picture.
Brush Country Monsters is brought to you by Big & J Long Range Attractants. The aroma is super strong, the range is super long. Revolution Safe Company, inspired by Pendleton. Rotating gun management made simple. Borden Accuracy, makers of the Rimrock, Alpine, and Timberline custom actions. Swagger, the bipod with moves. And New Breed Archery. No hype, just hunt.
Guys, when I think of giant red stags, the picture that I see in my mind is exactly what I have in front of me. This animal has everything. Dark color, mass, that red coat, just, you know, ivory white tips, everything that you could hope for in a giant red stag from New Zealand. Well, here is my New Zealand giant red stag. We worked for this animal. We saw him about 1,575 yards earlier today when we were eating lunch, and we sat down, we made a plan, and we made it happen, buddy.
We did.
To be able to put my hands on this animal, I could not have been happier.
Seth had his stag. The camaraderie is second to none in this place. It's like family. We had one more day left, and I was going after one more animal. This last day, we were going to go after one more animal for me. It could be a fallow, it could be an arapara. I was just trying to find the animal that represented South Island of New Zealand. I've never been there. I had 3 awesome trophies. I could do one more, and I was going to get the choice of either or. It was just a matter of which one gave us that opportunity. That morning, we were kind of focusing on fallow deer. If an arapara showed up, that'd be another thing, but we were going to do what gave us the opportunity. We saw multiple fallows. We even put a stalk on one, but once we got there, it wasn't quite as big as we thought he was. I got to see some great interaction again within the fallow and the rutting. That morning had gone and finished, and when we got to lunch, Mark said we're going to have a little bite to eat, and then we're going to go to a different part of the ranch and see what's there. We hunted that afternoon, and later towards the afternoon, we finally spotted some Arapara ram. But the trouble was they were way up high on Mount Walker, and it was getting a little bit late, so we were going to have to get in position. So Mark's got a plan to get us around the other side of the mountain, and then we'll put a stalk on them from there. Be about a 600-yard walk to hopefully get within about 400 yards range. We're putting a stalk on these rams, and Mark has put everything in between us that he can to keep us unnoticed. I'm exhausted. This is day 5. These mountains in New Zealand will kick your butt, and Ed had kicked mine.
Today we're going to talk about Berger's new match-grade ammunition. You know, Bill, for the longest time there's always been this huge gap between custom hand-loaded ammo and the accuracy it produced and the factory stuff you can get off the shelf. Berger has just dramatically closed that gap. I mean, this is amazing ammo.
Berger's managed to pull together all of the components that are necessary to create the best ammunition that they can produce or that can be purchased off the shelf. They use obviously their own bullets, which are of highest quality, but then they couple that with Lapua brass and then added Vitivory powder as the driver behind the ammunition. Where they've gone to is to the highest level to produce something that is available to the average shooter right off the shelf.
They really
without
have.
having to go to custom ammunition.
They really have produced the new standard in the industry that all other ammo makers will have to aspire to achieve. I mean, this is amazing ammo, shoots great in our guns. If you guys want to try some of this new ammo in one of your McQuarters, or if you need a McQuarter to try this new ammo, give us a call. We'd be glad to help you. And that's your on-target tip of the week, brought to you by McQuarter Custom Rifles.
These mountains in New Zealand will kick your butt. But I had this one animal, and he was a gorgeous ram. He had full curl and sticking out the sides. And that's the one that Mark wanted me to try to take.
They're gonna run. I told you, keep on him, Lamar. That's him out there on the right. He's gonna stop. When he does, whack him. Get on him. That's him.
We had the opportunity, and I took a shot. And I guess from exhaustion, or just not quite exactly where I needed, I missed. But the rams went over a ridge and came over a valley and came back. You know, Mark said they were going to be right back on the other side. So once again, we had to pack up, we had to walk. We left packs to get lighter so we could move a little quicker. We took the essentials, got to another spot. The rams were on the other side, and once again, they had calmed down, so the shot was going to be made.
Okay, looking through the scope. Right, he's on the right-hand side. Okay. On the right-hand side.
Ready, Russell?
266. He's just behind the white one. Get your shot when you can. He's the one behind the white one. You on him? Yeah. Just wait. Just wait for him. You know which one he is, Lamar? Okay, it's 281. Here he comes. He's at the back there. Can you get that shot? Did that hit him? There he is again, Lamar. He's out there by himself on the right. Last one. He's at the back. He's not going good. See him at the back? Yeah, he's hit. Yeah, he's clear. It's 306, Lamar. Finish him off. He's that last one. You know which one he is? On the left. Down. Yes! Awesome! That's what we want to see, big boy.
I took a deep breath and I pulled off what I'm going to call the shot of a lifetime, because I may not have ever gotten another shot again, and I had my Arapara. If I'd have gone over and made the trophy pictures and the recovery of this ram, it was going to be dark. 66 years old, I looked at the producer who's 42 and I said, I'm not going. So Seth looked at me and he shook his head. He said, I agree, you've done better than most at your age that would be out here. So Seth went, recovered my ram, and I went back to the Polaris. I had to sit down. Day 5 ended with an awesome 5 days of hunting the South Island of New Zealand with Rivers South Safaris. I'd like to personally thank Mark and Pam for making my first trip to New Zealand one that I will never, never, ever forget. River South Safari, South Island, New Zealand, Southern Alps. It is awesome, beautiful, and Mark will get you the trophies that you deserve and that you paid for. And you will not be disappointed if you go see Mark and Pam.
I've hunted with Mark and Pam Wade of River South Safaris on 3 different occasions over the span of about 10 years, and they have become great friends. They have some of the most picturesque, beautiful, scenic areas of New Zealand to hunt. Their lodge is always warm and friendly and comfortable, and their meals are incredible, but also Mark has this uncanny ability to put you on some giant trophies. If you are interested in a trip to the South Island, New Zealand, you've got to check out Mark and Pam Wade with River South Safaris. I cannot recommend them enough.
That was a once-in-a-lifetime trip. We want to thank River South Safaris for an epic adventure. Until next week, always remember, keep God and family first.